I feel really prompted to make this video today, and this is a video about how we need to stop invalidating other people's struggles. And I feel like there can be a wide variety of reasons as to why people invalidate people's struggles. I feel like one of them can be like if you're suffering from something worse than someone else, it could be out of like jealousy, it could be out of some sort of like hatred, it could be out of like you just not being okay with yourself and how bad whatever you've got is compared to how bad this other person is, and you're kind of jealous and you don't know how to deal with that feeling you have. Maybe you feel guilty about whatever is going on, and so you take it out on other people because you don't know how to deal with it. And I feel like the other group of people who do this are people who don't understand, they're really privileged people who don't understand mental illness. They don't understand what it's like to be abused. They don't understand physical illness. They don't understand what it's like to not have a perfect life, because they're so stuck in their little perfect life where they have so much that they can't see it from the perspective of people who have less. And maybe they've been in contact with people who kind of moan about a lot of things just for attention, and yet obviously these people do exist, and this video isn't defending those people who pretend to have certain issues for attention, because that is not okay. It is not okay to pretend you have anorexia for attention. It is not okay to pretend you have anything for attention. It's not okay to play off other people's vulnerabilities and actual real issues they have in life just for attention. So this video is 100% not defending those people, but I also feel like this video needs to be made. I feel like, especially online, a lot of people do try to invalidate other people's struggles, especially if they have sort of mild to mediocre forms of illnesses or experiences or mental disorders or injuries, and just because they're not suffering as much as, say, like another person would suffer. I mean, I had it this morning. 2 people said I wasn't bloated because they bloat more than me. Whoa, like, you don't have like the whole picture here. Like, that picture I posted wasn't me at my most 100% bloated like I've been in my entire life. I mean, like, I used to bloat a lot more than that when I ate dairy. I just don't have pictures of it online because I don't really feel like it's necessary to show a picture of me looking 9 months pregnant on the internet when I am not 9 months pregnant. And to be honest, if I was 9 months pregnant, I also don't feel like it would be necessary for me to post a picture of me on the internet, because it's no one's business what my body looks like. It's no one's business how bloated I can get, I guess. It's no one's business, and you shouldn't comment on people's photos when you don't have the whole story, or comment on people's photos in a way that invalidates their struggles, because this person whose photo you're commenting on, or whose Facebook post or Tumblr post or Twitter post or whatever you're commenting on, they could be in a really vulnerable place. I mean, fortunately I am not in a really vulnerable place, but this person could be in a really vulnerable place and your comment could really damage them. I mean, a lot of people think you can only have anorexia if you're only at like a BMI of 11, and if you were to comment on someone's post saying they're not anorexic because their BMI is not low enough, I mean, regardless of whether this person's been diagnosed anorexic or not, it's obviously going to significantly damage them. It's going to probably make them more anorexic. It's going to make them less likely to recover because they're going to feel like their struggles aren't valid. I mean, they probably feel like their struggles aren't valid anyway if they're not at a very low BMI, because that's how I felt when I had anorexia, because my lowest BMI, and I'm sorry if this is triggering, you can skip past this bit if you want, my lowest BMI was 16.8. So that's obviously not that low compared to other anorexics, and I did feel like that for a long time, and I've been a bit wary about sharing my lowest BMI and my lowest weight online, in case people have come at me and said, well, you weren't really anorexic because you weren't skinny enough. Like, no, it's not okay to invalidate people's struggles, whatever their struggles may be it a mental illness, a physical illness, be it that they've been abused, or whatever could be wrong with that person, or whatever they're complaining about, whatever they're going through in life. It's not okay to invalidate that, because everyone's experiences of certain things are different, and therefore people can experience things to more of an extent or a lesser extent, and just because they experience things to like more of an extent or a lesser extent, it doesn't mean that they're going to be affected to the same degree of what that experience is at, you know. Like, so someone with really severe, I'm trying to think of something that's like easy to like compare. Okay, like I have friends who get period pains, which ibuprofen can get rid of, and they moan about that a lot, and it does bug me sometimes, because I get period pains but ibuprofen can't cure. So, you know, and these are two different like levels of pain, I guess, and some people can be more affected by less pain than other people can be affected by. So just because like I don't necessarily moan at a level of pain that ibuprofen will heal, it doesn't mean that I'm going to invalidate someone's struggles if ibuprofen will heal their pain, because it's just not right and they're still in pain. Like, just as if I'm not going to be one to tell people that they're not anorexic because they're not skinny enough, or one to tell people they're not depressed because they can still get out of bed, because that's really not true, and it doesn't really get anyone anywhere. Telling people that their struggles aren't valid because they're not as ill as you, they're not as ill as other people you know, is probably just going to make them get worse in the long run, especially with illnesses. They're going to get more ill because you've told them that their struggles aren't valid, and you've told them that they're not good enough and they're not worthy of struggling. You've basically told them that they're not sick enough for help, and given the person might already feel like they're not sick enough for help, it's just not going to be beneficial. I mean, say you were to tell someone that they weren't depressed enough because they could still get out of bed, and then they went and attempted suicide because your comment triggered them, or because your comment made them not go and seek help for their depression. I mean, how bad would that make you feel, really? Like, if I was responsible for that, or I felt like I could be partially responsible for something like that happening to someone, I would never get over it, personally. But I don't know, I feel like not everyone is as caring as I am, and not everyone like worries as much about other people and how they are. I've actually kind of stopped caring about other people so much now, because there are some really shitty people in the world, and obviously I don't support them. But yeah, we just need to stop invalidating other people's struggles, whatever they may be. I mean, even if we're going to talk about abuse here, like, say someone's just like emotionally abused compared to being sexually abused. Like, obviously sexual abuse is a real issue, and it's not something I've experienced in, so I'm not going to talk about it in too much detail. But obviously it can damage people a lot. It can cause a lot of problems, but so can emotional abuse. I can talk about emotional abuse because I'm pretty sure how my mum treats me would count as emotional abuse, and it does. It does hurt you. So just because it may not necessarily be seen as severe as sexual abuse or physical abuse, it shouldn't be treated as something as such in a way that is less severe, or in a way that the person who is being abused shouldn't deserve to feel upset about it, or shouldn't deserve to be suffering because of their abuse. Like, they shouldn't deserve to be depressed because they could have had it worse, because it's not right. It's going to make them withdraw even more, and it's just we need to stop doing it. We need to build a community online and in the outside, general, real world of real human face-to-face contact where we respect and support everyone. And we only invalidate people if they actually are making up their struggles or like putting them on a bit more just for attention, and you know 100% that that is the case, because that is just the way we need to become. And I feel like if we become that way, a lot less people will be a lot less ill with various issues, a lot less people will be a lot less mentally ill, and a lot more people will seek help when their mental illness or when they're being abused or their physical illness or whatever is wrong with them is in its beginning stages, and it could really prevent a lot of harm to a lot of people. And yeah, that's what I want to see in the world. So I'm sorry this is like an 11-minute video, but there we go. Follow me on all my other social medias and send me a message if you like, because, you know, I'll talk to you as long as you're not a creep. And I will see you in my next video.